Hi guys! Today I'm going to show you how I painted this dreamy dragon galaxy painting. I'm using Windsor & Newton Cotman watercolors with white gouache, any white gouache will do, on Canson XL watercolor paper. First I put a rough sketch of where I want my silhouettes to be. It doesn't have to be perfect because a lot of it is actually going to be covered by paint, but I still want to keep a rough idea of where everything is supposed to be. Just make sure that you keep your pencil lines light so that it doesn't muddy your colors. I pre-wet the background and then I added the darkest blue around the edges and I dropped in some dark purple and pinks with a bit of turquoise. The first layer doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to be adding plenty of layers, so any mistakes that are made are going to be covered up nicely. I use a hairdryer between layers to dry out quickly, and also the heat from the hairdryer helps flatten my paper back out. I'm adding more layers, going darker each time, and I didn't pre-wet, so there are a lot of harsh dry edges. Personally, I like this when I'm painting galaxies, so it's alright. I'm also really digging a more textured look lately, so you'll notice I try to put a lot of this in my painting. I'm adding white gouache so I can get a billowy cloud kind of effect. It's a dreamy dragon world. Who knows what their sky looks like when they're looking up at the stars at night? That's the fun of painting, or even art. You can do whatever you want. At this point in my painting, it looks a little rough. When you're doing galaxies, even if you think you messed up, just keep going. Once you add the stars and it's all dried, you're going to love it. Stars cover all kinds of mistakes. Looking back at this, I kind of messed with it a little too much. It really is fun and relaxing watching all the colors play with each other and blend into each other. It's easy to get lost in what you're doing and start making a little bit of a mess. But it all works out in the end, so don't worry. Here I'm just doing more layers, going back between the gouache and adding a little bit more of the darker purple and the darker blue and a little bit of a brighter blue, and I'm also drying at the same time. I really don't have too much watercolor on the paper, so it's not taking very long to dry. For the lake portion, I made it look like it was reflecting the sky, but I wasn't really too worried about it looking like an exact reflection. As long as you're using the same colors that you are in the sky, the water will tie in nicely. When you add in the land, it doesn't have to be straight across, but it looks a little bit more realistic if the edge of your water is more horizontal and kind of parallel to your paper. After I dried the water, I went back up to the sky to add a darker blue edge and more layers of gouache and more layers of color. I had to stop though because my paper couldn't really handle it and it was actually starting to lift up my masking tape, and so I took that as a sign that it was time to move on to the black parts of the mountains. For the mountains in silhouette, I used lamp black with a little bit of intense blue. It doesn't have to be perfectly covered on this layer because we're going to be going over it again when it's dry. For the dragon, I took a liner brush just to get the outside edges just right. I saw that I needed to move my mountain over a little bit, so the dragon had a place for his front feet. While I was doing the second coat, I realized that I really did not like the way his wings were sitting. I didn't like the shape of them. So I went back and made them a little bit bigger. I went over the mountains a final time to make sure that it was a more even coat and a flat black. The star splatter is probably my favorite part. I could do this all day. It is so relaxing and fun. Can you overdo stars? Probably not. I covered the black with little bits of paper only because it is so hard to cover white splatter once it's dried, and that dries pretty fast. I also went in with a white gel pen just for a little bit of extra sparkle. Now you could probably leave it just how it was, just a flat black silhouette, and it will still look pretty cool. But for a soft glow on the mountains and on the dragon, I took an old white pastel pencil and I lightly added a bit of highlight and texture to all of the black. You can use your finger or a soft paintbrush like I did to soften it out to more of a glow, coming back with the pencil again to brighten up any specific areas. And here we have our finished painting. If you liked this video, please let me know. Hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. If you decide to do your own Dragon Galaxy, let me know how it turned out. I'll see you next time. Bye.